Hello guys, so today we will look at one of the services of AWS, which is IAM. So IAM is a global service and it is like identity and access management. So through this service, what we try to do, we try to manage the permissions of a particular IAM group or particular user. User means a particular resource in your organization who wants to access particular resources in AWS because of some specific task which your organization wants that resource to do. Okay, so to give permissions to the resources so that they can do their task, assigned task in AWS, we will need a service IAM. Okay, so if you would have created if you would have signed up for a AWS account, then there is a IAM user already created, that is your root account by default, which shouldn't be used or shared. Okay, so there is a root account which is already created when you sign up for AWS. Okay, so that is the root account, but the root account should not be used for that purpose. Okay, and another thing, as already told, users are people within your organization and cannot be and can be grouped. So if particular set of people are doing some particular task, so these people can be grouped into a group, and that group can be given a permission so that you don't need to give permissions to individual users, or you can say resources. Okay, so as if for an example you want to understand this concept, suppose in your organization there are some six people: Alice, Bob, Charles, David, Edward, and Fred. Okay, so suppose three of them, Alice, Bob, and Charles, work as a developer. Their task is of that of developers. Okay, so they can be assigned into a group, and this group can be provided permissions, and so whatever permission this group will have, all these three people will have. Okay, so this is the benefit of a group. You don't need to assign permission to individual resources, or you can say users. Now, and likewise, if you have a operations team, so likewise, if you have an operations team like David and Edward work as in operation team, so whatever resource they want in the as an operations team, they can be given this permission. Okay, and Fred is suppose working solely, so Fred would be given individual permission. So now the point to remember is that groups can only contain users, not other groups. Okay. And another point we can see, users don't have to belong to a group, and users can belong to multiple groups. So suppose in this example, Charles and David also work as a developer, but they are also into the auditing team. So they both can be grouped together into a group audit team, and whatever permissions audit team will have, they will have those permissions. Okay. So now let's look at how IAM permissions are provided to users or group. Okay. So for that we have IAM policies. What are IAM policies? What are IAM policies? So see, these are JSON-like document, as you can see here. This is a JSON document in which there is data like how what can they access. So suppose this can whichever group or user will have assigned this JSON document, this IAM policy. If you see action EC2 describe, so they can do EC describe action on EC2, and they can see effect allow, they can do EC describe action on elastic load balancing. Likewise, they can do CloudWatch, list matrix, CloudWatch, describe, etc., etc. So these are the things. Okay. So users, another point, users or groups can be assigned JSON document call policy, which I have already told you. These policies define the permissions of the users. So as I have told, these policies define the permissions of the user. As we can see, if this policy is assigned to a user or group, they can only given permission EC2 elastic load balancing, CloudWatch list matrix, CloudWatch get matrix statics, and this drive action. Okay. So in AWS, you apply the least privilege principle. Don't give more permissions than a user need. See, it is a principle like give the least privileges to the user. So whatever the users require, if any user is requiring an access to EC2 and RDS database, then he should be given EC2 and RDS database permissions only, not more than that. Okay, so this is the meaning of least privilege principle. So this was all about the theory of this IAM. In the next lecture, we will do a practical on the IAM, how we can create IAM users, give them permission, create JSON document, that policy, how we can group the users together and give that policy. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.